Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It's the story everybody's talking about, and we've got the latest. Here's Jim Murray.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm at Forest Lawn Cemetery in the Hollywood Hills. We've learned that Brittany Murphy's funeral will be held here on Christmas Eve. Inside Edition also sat down for a very revealing interview with Brittany's half-brother that may offer clues into her death. He talks about a family medical condition and wonders whether that condition contributed to his sister's death.
My grandmother, my aunt, and myself have all dealt with this neurological thing.
Did Brittany Murphy suffer from a hereditary disorder that could have led to her death? Her half-brother is revealing their family's dangerous medical history in an exclusive interview with Inside Edition. You think you may know what killed your sister?
I got to think about my aunt, myself, and my grandmother. And I got to think about the genes that, maybe she was dealing with at the time.
Jeff Bertolotti and Brittany have the same father. I spoke to the musician and pastor in Ventura, California. It's just 70 miles from Brittany's Los Angeles home, where she went into cardiac arrest earlier this week. But the half-siblings hadn't spoken in 8 years. Jeff says her career drove them apart, and he watched from afar as rumors swirled about her loopy behavior and as her weight dipped to alarming lows.
The jawline, and I'm like, no, that's not Britt. And to have that frame so frail.
But can many of Brittany's problems be attributed to a mysterious neurological disorder? Jeff believes that, like him, Brittany may have been suffering from dysautonomia.
Dysautonomia is an umbrella term for a disorder that affects the autonomic nervous system. And that's part of the body that controls heart rate, blood pressure, our breathing.
Doctors say the disorder can even cause victims to appear disoriented.
I'm sorry, you were asking me about June. Yeah.
Officials announced that Brittany died of cardiac arrest, and experts say the disorder could have contributed to her death. And what about the prescription medications that were reportedly found on her night table and elsewhere in her home?
There's an anti-seizure medication. There's also, a couple pain medications in there, and I think any one of those could be used to treat her symptoms.
It's a thing that you can't get a finger on. So if they didn't know she had it, or maybe even if she didn't, I don't know. But if you're loading a person up with medication and there's a lot of stresses involved and you're exhausting yourself, it just sounds like a recipe for potential disaster.
It's unknown whether Brittany was actually suffering from the disorder. Her half-brother says he spent a day in tears over her death. Meantime, the mother of Brittany's husband is speaking out, defending him against reports that he was a bad influence on the actress. He has lost the love of his life. He's not good at all. It's such a shock.
This whole situation is real.
And these are the last images of Brittany on film. She shot her final movie, Abandoned, earlier this year. Producers hope to release it in 2010. We've learned that Brittany's services will be kept strictly private. No word on whether a public memorial will follow. Deborah, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jim. Now for the latest on another story we've been following closely, we turn to the newsroom. Here's Les.